If you only could see how much makeup I have sitting in front of me, it's a little crazy. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This video is for my real ones. This is for all my returning viewers. Of course, if you're new here, welcome. I would love to have you. These are a very special video. I am going to take all of the new products that I have tested and tried out multiple times in multiple scenarios with multiple different products and formulas to give you my final thoughts and a quick and rapid fire review style so that you can have a go-to video of what my thoughts are and how all of these new products that we have tried over the past couple of months and how they perform. I've got drugstore, I've got high end, I've got all of my things from the Sephora sale, from Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty. This is going to be a long one. So grab a snack, grab a coffee, grab some laundry, do whatever you need to do, get cozy, sit back. I think these videos are so important to do as a consumer of makeup YouTube myself. I love these types of videos. Sometimes I don't want to see you do the whole try on. I just want to know, is the product good or not? Have you tried it enough times to let me know? I think these are incredibly valuable. So I may be a little repetitive. This may be a little long and drawn out, but hopefully if you are looking for the review of a product that you've been wondering about, I've got a large culmination of different products. So hopefully you'll be able to find something that suits your needs and lifestyle. Timestamps will be down below. Use them if you need them. And without further ado, let's get on into it. Okay, first category is primers. So I picked up the beautiful REM Beauty. This is their Honey Pot Highlight Serum. The reflex in this are gorgeous. It's really beautiful. This one I would say is at the bottom of my list of the new primers I have tried. It is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's got a gorgeous wet sheen to it. And then when you blend it out, it does have a lot of reflex of glitter. So if you are not into that, then I would say stay away from this one. It feels really nice, but honestly, it's not that hydrating. It kind of dries down. It doesn't pill under my makeup, which is totally fine. I would give this like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think it's a perfectly fine product if you have youthful skin and you really just want something that's fun and glowy and will definitely give some luminosity to your skin. This is a good buy, but it is a little pricey, especially if you have as young of skin as I'm thinking of, maybe like young 20s and lower. So I wouldn't say this is a need. It's not a bad product by any means, but I think there are better out there. It's beautiful. I will continue to use it as I do with everything. I will continue to get my money's worth out of everything that I buy, but I don't think you need to run out and get this. Next, I have the Kosas Dreambeam SPF 40, and this is in the color Sunlit. So this is their one that is a little bit tinted. You have to shake it up really well, but once you do, the product goes on really nicely and gives you just a tiny hint of a sun-kissed glow and really looks like you've just been at the beach running around. The glow is really beautiful. I would give this like an 8 out of 10 for sure. I think it's really lovely if you are definitely into tinted sunscreens for the summer. I think this one is really nice. It's SPF 40, so you do get a little bit more benefit out of it. I wouldn't use it as my sole sunscreen alone. I like mine to be SPF 50 or higher, but SPF 40 is not bad. And it really gives a really nice bronze. I think it's a universal bronze. It's a universal glow. If you're a little bit darker in skin tone, it's not going to give you any sort of a tint, but it's going to be really nice and at least keep your complexion really warm. And so for that, I really like it as well. It doesn't pill under makeup, which is really good. So all in all, I really enjoy this product. Now, this one took me a few tries to really figure out how I felt about it, which can be good or bad, take it on what you will, but I've decided I really love this product. It is viral for a reason. I used it today. This is what I have under my makeup. It doesn't pill at all, which is so beautiful. It is very lightweight. It is very hydrating. And that's what I really like about it is I will go in with this on days where I need to feel really hydrated, but I've already got so much skincare on underneath. I just need a tiny thin boost of hydration, and this is what that is good for. It does give a very blurred, glowy effect to the skin that is very filtered-like. I would say personally, if you have the Say Star Super Glowy Gel, you could probably skip this. So if you're in between the two of them, I'd say they give a kind of a similar finish. This one is just going to be a little bit more lightweight in texture, but if you really like the way that looks or vice versa, I think you would like these two picks. Then an unexpected winner of the bunch. This is the Hard Candy in collaboration with Girl Scouts Milk and Cookies Primer. Honestly, this reminds me so much of the Rhode Glazing Milk. This is so hydrating. It is much thinner, but that is what's so nice about it. It feels like water on the skin. It does not pill. It gets very slightly tacky, and it just feels so beautiful on the face. You can't beat the price. It is so good. This is really like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It's so beautiful. It would be like a 10 out of 10 if it had like a bunch of skincare ingredients. This really is one of my favorite pickups from the drugstore I have made all year. This surprised me in the best way. I think this is totally worth it for any skin type. I think you're going to love this, especially for the summer. It'll give you a hit of hydration. So I highly suggest going and checking this out. This is great. Lastly, for primers, this is the Lawless Forget the Filler Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Perfecting Cream. This comes in a beautiful jar. It's got a nice pillowy pink touch to it. It also comes with an applicator as well. It looks exactly like Yoplait yogurt. Oh my gosh. This is a dry skin girl's everything. It just has the softest, most pillowy, beautiful effect on the skin. It blurs while also hydrates so insanely well. For my incredibly dry skin, this feels like the best drink of water plus plumping. It just feels like I've just injected a bunch of like liquid collagen into my skin. It feels so nice. Truly, you cannot go wrong with that. It made my foundation look impeccable every time. It is so incredibly worth it. 10 out of 10 for me. Absolutely. That has been my top favorite, and I keep reaching for it over and over and over again. I'm going to like need a new one so soon. Totally worth it in my opinion. Lawless has just become one of my favorite brands ever, and they really knocked it out of the park with that. I highly suggest, especially if you have dry skin, you are going to love that product. Next category we have is foundations. And speaking of Lawless, I actually have on today their Forget the Filler Plumping, Smoothing, and Nourishing Foundation. Now, this foundation, I get compliments every time I wear it. I can just see how beautiful my skin looks every time I look in the mirror. It looks so blurred and perfected without looking cakey, but I look like I have makeup on. I don't know. It's like it looks like a filter, really. I mean, it doesn't look so incredibly natural, but it does not look cakey at all. My skin just looks hydrated to me and filled and plumped. I don't know how they do that, but it is truly one of my favorite finishes in a foundation ever. I would say it's more of a medium coverage foundation, but somehow it just covers all of my acne and red spots so well without the feeling of a heavy full coverage foundation. I have it on today. It's been my go-to when I want to look the best that I possibly can because it just doesn't fail me. I really have been loving all of their products lately. Absolutely 10 out of 10 for me. I have several foundations from the drugstore. The first one is the L'Oreal Lumi Lip Glow Tint, and this is beautiful. If, again, you have dry skin like I do, this gives you such a wet, glowy look. It's just glowy skin. It is what is in right now. It's beautiful for summer. It's very lightweight. It's not full coverage, so you're going to have a little bit of your skin peeking through, but that is really beautiful. This is lovely as a mixer as well because it's so glowy and hydrating. If it's too glowy for you, you can mix it into one of your other foundations to sort of tone them down or bring a little more life to them. I have really enjoyed this, although I don't think it is for everybody. If you've got oily skin, I would stay away from this. I think you're going to find it a little too metallic-y on your skin probably and not last as long. But the finish of this is really great. I haven't seen that it wears the longest, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because I really like it, but it probably gets like a 7 out of 10 overall because this is not going to be suited to everyone's skin type for sure. But not every product can be everything for everyone, and I think that's important to remember. So as I'm doing these rankings, that does factor in that I think that sometimes things rank higher for certain skin types than others, and that's just the name of the game. To my surprise, one of the loveliest foundations that I keep reaching for over all my other foundations, especially it's not in a formula that I love, but this is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint. This is incredible. For stick foundations, they're not something I normally like because when I have dry skin, they tend to catch on my dry patches and I just can't blend them out as easy. I feel like I'm just like punching my face trying to get them to blend out. This blends out like a liquid somehow. When I say I don't know how they do this, it's because it is so creamy and so lightweight. And you see how it lets a little bit of my skin still peek through, but it's just so blurring. This is probably one of the most skin-like finishes I own. It truly is one of those your skin but better, and that's why I keep reaching for it so much. It gives me so much confidence. Even though it doesn't fix all of my imperfections, it's one of the only things that I will wear that looks like my skin but better. Not perfected, not filtered, not blurred, just beautiful. You just look very natural. If you are a fan of the Dior stick foundation, I think you will highly like that one. That gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Wow. Okay, one that I am not so much of a fan of. This is the Pur 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Longwear Foundation and Concealer. And a little bit like, I know that the Milani Conceal and Perfect liquid foundation reminds me a little bit of this. It's very heavy because it claims to be a concealer and a foundation in one. It's very thick and it's just not my favorite to put all over my face, which is ironic because I love putting actual concealer all over my face as a foundation. I get so many compliments when I do that. This one is just really, really thick and it just didn't look the best on my skin for sure. And it kind of caught on my dry patches. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever put on my face, but compared to all of these other foundations that I have tried that have just been so stand out and they've knocked it out of the park, I would say that one gets like a 5 out of 10 for me, 6 out of 10 maybe. It's really nice if you are into a very full coverage, thick foundation and you have either a lot of redness, rosacea, acne, or something like that to cover up. You might really like something like this. But for most people, I think it's just going to feel really cakey on your skin. And so it's not my fave. But if you're looking for full coverage and you don't want a nasty feeling and you want to look like a filter and you've got an event to go to, don't worry, I got you. Because this foundation, this is the Anastasia Impeccable Blurring Foundation. Y'all, this is absolutely a 10 out of 10 for me. I have no idea what she put in this. I can definitely tell you if I had a wedding to go to or if it was my wedding, this is what I would use. It is truly a full coverage, lightweight feeling, blurring filter on your skin. I mean, that is definitely like you've got an event to go to, you want to look amazing, you have a photo shoot, you're graduating, you're going to prom, you're doing whatever. That is the most amazing, beautiful, full coverage looking foundation. You will not regret it. I think the formula is so superior. Definitely a 10 out of 10 in the full coverage matte foundation department if you are looking for that. Next, a little bit of the middle of the road price. I would say some consider this drugstore, some consider this like lower tier high end. I think it's still very affordable for a very good foundation. This is the About Face Performer Foundation. One of the things I love about this is it has a large doe foot applicator, which is so nice because all of these other ones, even though they have a pump, I still end up getting my hands all dirty. I need something to wash my hands. This you could be completely hands-free with, which I think is so nice. So that bumps it right up. The packaging is super luxe. It's like a very high-end plastic, basically. And frankly, the formula is stunning. It is so beautiful. It feels like this reminds me a lot of like the Forget the Filler and the Patrick Ta foundation, which is one of my favorite foundations ever. I would say this foundation is like a perfect cross between the Forget the Filler and the Lumi Lip Oil Skin Tint. It's very glowy, yet still has a blurring, perfecting part to it. It's a medium coverage foundation, but it can definitely be built up, but I think you don't need any of that if you just throw on some concealer with this. It really is so nice and I reach for it all the time because it's just like I just know how it's going to perform. It's just easy. It looks like blurred, beautiful skin. Feels very hydrating. It is very glowy, but not in like a dripping wet kind of a way. Patrick Ta's foundation is very wet, like it does not set down. This has a little bit more of self-setting properties, although I always set everything that I use with powder. But this is really, really, you want to spend a little bit more than $11 on your foundation, but you don't want to spend $60 on your foundation. This is, I think, the first one I would definitely suggest going to, and I think you won't regret it. Definitely like an 8 out of 10 for me, for sure. Next, in the full coverage category, this is the One Size Turn Up the Base foundation. This is actually really nice, and It is full coverage. It is a little bit like painting a mask on your face, but frankly, I compared these two in short form on YouTube Shorts, and frankly, the Anastasia actually had better coverage. My skin still peeked through a little bit with this, but what you'll see with this one is it is very like thick to the point that it's almost moussey, but it's really, really easy to blend out. But it gives you a little bit of that paint kind of look, but it feels very hydrating. And what I do like about this foundation is the other one is very matte. This one you can kind of mix to be a little bit more glowy. It just definitely will give you some full coverage. So again, if you're an acne prone girl, but you don't like matte skin, you would like a little bit of glow to your face, I actually would really suggest checking out something like this. And again, this is where something like this or their base thinner, which is meant to thin out products like this, is something actually that's so great. You can mix in a little bit of your moisturizer, a little bit of your serum, a little bit of a milky toner, and that is going to thin it out so much and make it much more lightweight on the skin while still keeping its coverage. So I definitely really like that foundation. It gets an 8 out of 10 for me for sure. And I reach for it a lot when I have acne days, so which happens to me a lot. Okay, you hanging in there? Lastly, I'm going to end on a drugstore high note. This is my favorite pickup from the drugstore in 2025, period. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. This is the Maybelline Lumi Matte Foundation. And while that sounds like an oxymoron, they have absolutely nailed exactly that. This is exactly what I was telling you about the one size where you can thin it out, especially if you have acne days and you want to keep some coverage, except that Maybelline has already done that with this formula. So for a much cheaper price, this formula is so comfortable. It's so beautiful. It blends out into nothing. It covers really well. And as you can see, it gives you skin-like glow. It's not glowy like with any reflex in it or any shimmers. It's a comfortable skin-like finish. That is where I think it is so beautiful and why everybody really loves it. Skin is neither incredibly perfectly matte or incredibly perfectly dewy, and that is what a skin-like finish is to me, is it just naturally reflects the light where it can and then keeps the other areas matte and not shiny. I love that foundation so much. I have to stop myself from grabbing it every day. It is perfection in my opinion. Well done, Maybelline. Then I finally got my hands on the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Ever since Jaclyn Hill in like 2012 came out and said this was the best foundation ever. I mean, if you've got money to spare, this is your everyday foundation for sure. This is so incredibly skin-like. I don't know how this happens in this bottle. I mean, this is the most incredibly just hydrating yet perfectly skin-like. You can see it almost just blends away into nothing on my hand. I mean, how? How is that possible? The most incredible thing about this foundation is if it is your wedding day, you can use that and you will feel glamorous and beautiful and it'll be perfect for pictures. And if you were just going to the grocery store, you will not look overdone. That is the magic, I think, of that foundation. It is just perfect for every occasion. So it gets a 10 out of 10. There's just no notes. No notes. Moving on from foundations, we're going to get into concealers, and I only tried just a few. So I've only got 2 to talk about. One is very high-end and one is drugstore. So the first one is the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, and this one is very nice. It is a little drier than most of the concealers that we're used to seeing on the market right now, because a lot of concealers have so much skincare in them. They're very hydrating because they're a serum concealer. This one is just more of like a true dry concealer. It's very nice. Again, it looks very much like skin, which is really lovely. I have no complaints. This gets like a 7 out of 10 because truly, I don't have anything really terrible to say, but it didn't like absolutely like wow me, blow me out of the water. Because it's a little drier, I did have to work kind of quickly with it, and it's very expensive. So I do think there are other ones and other alternatives on the market that you could use. But it's a very nice concealer. This was given to me by somebody who didn't want it. And so for that, I didn't have to pay the price for it. And I really like it, but I don't think I would repurchase this. However, what absolutely knocked my socks off was the Revolution Beauty I can't ever say this. The Skin Silk Concealers. Take 2. These are an under eye brightener and concealer built in one. They have a really interesting applicator. They have a metal applicator, which I think is supposed to be like a knockoff of the Rare Beauty. And what I will say is when you apply this, the metal applicator feels so nice. It is a very thin formula, as you will see, and it does really conceal and brighten really nicely. I've enjoyed using these a lot. My complaint, I do think they need probably a bigger shade range, which is why I grabbed 2 of them. They're much thinner than I normally would work with, but they still work for how blue and purple my under eyes are. So for that, I really give them props. The formula feels so thin, so watery, yet still gives you coverage. It feels very nice. I do think they need to probably expand their shade range a little bit to fit everybody's needs a little bit more. What I will say I don't care for is I have to go back in quite a bit because the metal applicator on one hand feels very nice, but it doesn't have a lot of the product soaked into it, obviously. So in order to get as much as I need to keep dipping in. So these get like a 7 out of 10 for me because I'm really impressed with the formula that I don't normally use, which is much thinner. They're very nice. They feel really nice, but I would make a few changes here and there. So like a 6.5 out of 10 for me. I do enjoy these a lot. I will use them a lot. What they go really well with though is color correctors. And I've got one high end and one drugstore. So the first one I want to talk about, this is the Cali Ray Hideaway Under Eye Concealer and Corrector. Now this one is in their light pink shade. This is very light pink. It is very brightening, as you will see. I will say about this one, it is a drier formula. So you do have to work kind of quickly with this one compared to my drugstore option, which is the new Morphe Wake Up Artist. And this is in their peachy pink color. This is much more leaning peach. So I think they were trying to kind of knock out 2 birds with 1 stone here. This is both a peach brightener and a pink brightener. I really love them both. What's funny is on my hand, the Cali Ray looks much more wet. It's much tackier than this one. But for some reason, I've had more issues with the Cali Ray mixing with other products just as well as the Morphe one. The Morphe really just mixes with any product of mine and feels so hydrating on my skin, truly. But you do need more of it to get the same effect as the Cali Ray. So overall, I'll give the Morphe an 8 out of 10 and the Cali Ray a 7 out of 10. You get a beautiful glass bottle with Cali Ray. Their ingredients are clean. It is stunning. But the only reason I'm giving this a 7 and this an 8 is because I really think that for the price, Morphe knocked it out of the park. And if you can get the same effect for less money, then I think that's a bonus and I think you should get a point for that. Okay, now a category that I am not personally into, but I really do not have a lot of cream bronzers or bronzers in general. It's just not one of those subjects that like excites me. So I was so pleasantly surprised by how much I love all these products because they excite me. All of these basically are complete 10 out of 10 winners in my head. So I'm just going to go through them really quickly. The first one I have that is just absolutely flawless. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss and I have the color Spilling Tea. Oh my goodness, this is such a beautiful cream. It is a very full coverage cream, but it just blends out into this beautiful, warm, kind of glowy life that it gives to your skin. It is very warm, but it almost sets down to like a powder matte formula. I could not be more impressed with this. This was so wonderful to work with, especially if you have some texture. And again, you don't want something so matte or you have texture and dry skin, which is like me. I love all of my products to be very hydrating, yet they really need to cover. And this is my number one for that kind of a look. It's so beautiful. It is very warm though. So I will say another affordable alternative, if you're looking for something a little less orange based, you've got to check out the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Contours. These are beautiful. They are very pigmented, very full coverage, but look how cool this one is in comparison. This is such a gorgeous shade. This is the shade Fair Light. Like a lot of e.l.f. products, a little goes a long way, but this one is just much more cool. It is definitely leaning more contour than bronzer. And if that's something that you're interested in that is at a drugstore price point, I would highly suggest checking out their line as well. So that one just depends sort of on personal preference, but they're both really beautiful. Staying on the affordable side, this is the new Essence Contour Duo Stick. Now, again, this one was given to me because it was just not somebody's shade. This is really not my shade either because look at how dark that is. However, I can sort of make the other side work for me as well. And this is what I have as my nose contour today. And I'm telling you, I did this after I put on powder. Beautiful. Blended out like a dream. I think these are so gorgeous. I really want to get one that is duo ended in my particular color. Oh my gosh. Essence is just so great for their price points, especially like e.l.f., like LA Girl, like so many other things at the drugstore. But like, let's be honest, like some things like Milani and Maybelline and L'Oreal, they're the more expensive brands at the drugstore. But Essence, you can get a full face done for under like 50 bucks, and their products are so great. I highly suggest you going and checking them out for sure. Now, a few high-end ones that really just blew my mind out of the water. The very first one is, these have been so popular and now I can see for a reason. This is the Too Faced Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick, and I think that is such an apt description. First of all, they smell like chocolate. Their packaging is so beautiful and luxe looking. And this is in the shade Chocolate Mousse. They go on so well. They don't catch your foundation underneath. They blend out so easily. I really love that they have so many shades. It's just a good formula. What can I say? I've talked about this before, but like this one from Rare Beauty so didn't excite me. I was like, ugh. To be completely real with you, the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch blushes I think are beautiful, gorgeous, phenomenal, but they're so pigmented. They're just not what I reach for all the time. So I was like, I'm just not going to reach for this. Why would I spend the money? I am so glad I did. This was in so many people's Sephora recommendations, so I had to pick it up for y'all. And I am telling you, this is probably my new favorite product from Rare Beauty, period. Maybe not, but it's darn close. I was looking for something that blends out as well as my Makeup by Mario, and this one hit the jackpot. This is the most beautiful. This is my skin, but I'm just a little more bronzed color. It does not look like makeup on your skin, and that's what I will say is the big standout for this product. Is it truly just looks absolutely like your skin, but a little bit more bronzed. This is just so beautiful. The applicator is so wonderful. It is so easy to work with. It's so blendable. It is definitely like the contour color of her sticks that are just like so easy to blend out. I highly recommend this for especially like beginners in makeup. This is like, you can't mess this up. Gorgeous. Lastly, the number one bronzer I have been reaching for all the time. This is the Perricone MD No Makeup Bronzer. I'm wearing it today. This is beautiful. I really enjoy actual liquids on my dry skin. I'm figuring out because they just blend out like melted butter on my skin, and it just gives the most beautiful glow to my skin. I really just have nothing else to say about this except for it's my number one reached for new bronzer in my entire collection. If you can get your hands on it, I do not think you will be disappointed. Moving right along, I have got two beautiful setting powders to talk to you about today. One is high-end, one is drugstore. So the drugstore one I'm going to talk about is the About Face Set and Smooth Loose Powder. This powder is basically perfection. This is what I have to set my whole face today. You get a really good amount of product in here. I love the packaging. It just feels so nice and luxe. This is definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. It is the most lightweight blurring powder. You just don't feel like you have powder at all. If anyone was like too scared of powder, but they wanted to try to get into it, this is the first one that I would suggest for them. It gives you blurred, baked, perfected skin without the feeling of your whole face being dry and crackly. It is beautiful. 10 out of 10 for me, for sure. This one I have enjoyed so much. This is the Kosas Cloud Set Translucent, and I have the color Candy. And this is what I have on my under eyes today. This is so beautiful. I think it's a great bang for your buck. This gets like a 9 out of 10 for me just because I don't think it's going to work everywhere on your skin. And it's not as lightweight, but it's not perfectly as matte as like Huda Beauty's powder. It still gives your skin a little bit of life and realism to it, if you will. And so especially if you pick up a translucent color, I think you will enjoy this so much. You will never run out of it, I'm so sure. So lovely. I've really enjoyed them, and I'm so picky with setting powders. So picky. Now, blushes continue to be quite popular, and it doesn't help that they are naturally, truly, like, my favorite category about my face is blush. It is so much fun. It gives my dead olive skin some life. I love over blushing. I've been doing it for so long now. I've definitely got blush blindness, and I'm not sorry. So I've got a lot of them to talk to you about. Let's start out with an affordable one. This is the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush, and this is in the color Lilac. This is a gorgeous, very unique color, especially if you are somebody who is olive toned. This is so beautiful, but oh my goodness, this is very pigmented. You have to be very careful with this. It's almost more pigmented than the Rare Beauty blushes. So a tiny bit goes a long way, but I love the color of this. That's what I think makes it just like so worth it, is because there is just not a lot of beautiful lilacs out there. When you really look at the bottle, it actually has some gorgeous gold reflex to it. It is just stunning. Really and truly a great alternative to the one that came out with Huda Beauty's Ube collection. That one is a little bit lighter and frankly, I think a little bit easier to work with. But for so much less of the price, you get like an 8 out of 10. Perfect, beautiful color. I would just say it loses just a few points just because of it's not the easiest to work with. But other than that, it's so beautiful. No notes. And I love the color. I love how unique this is. And I use it all the time. A standout blush from the drugstore is the Milani Cheek Kiss formula. This is such a gorgeous color, and this is in the shade Coral Crush. This I cannot say enough good things about. It's so pigmented in the best way, and it just gives the most beautiful shine to your cheeks. It's just wet, it's beautiful, it's dewy, and it keeps its pigment so well, but it's easy to blend out. It is a 10 out of 10 product for me. I reach for this so much more than I thought I would. I just don't think you can do any better from the drugstore. Truly, Milani has absolutely killed it when it comes to this. Now, a formula that I think is so beautiful. These are the Say Super Suede Radiant Blush Powders, and I've got the shades Mia and Stella mixed on this side of my cheek today. These give the most beautiful, almost like hourglass blush sheen to your face. There's quite a lot of kickback when you use them, but I find that they're not patchy at all. It gives the most radiant, beautiful, juicy skin radiance like finish. This is what I think like what the Rare Beauty toppers were supposed to be, but those really can emphasize texture so greatly, and with these I just don't experience that. They are not too pigmented, but they give a really gorgeous sheen. I actually like the clear packaging so that you can see what color you're going for to pick up. I can't stop reaching for these. I love these. These are definitely like a 9 out of 10 for me. These are such a beautiful blush formula, and I think they will look good on everyone. I also picked up 3 of the Tower 28 Get Set Matte Powder Blushes. These are supposed to be very matte blurring blushes that are infused with setting powder, so that when you set your cream blush, they go on and they really do lock in that color into place while giving you some blur and some mattification. Now, my opinion of these has changed since I started using them. Originally, I just loved them. I thought they were so great. They are so blurring, and they are. But they are going to get a little bit of a lower ranking in my scale. I would say these are like a 6.5 to 7 out of 10 blush formula because they are so hard to work with, in my opinion, especially if you have dry skin. They are so pigmented. These also have quite a bit of kickback in the formula. So when you go to put it on your face, they stay where you put them. So if you don't have an even application over your brush, they tend to be a little patchy just because the pigment really goes exactly where you place it. Sometimes this works really great for me, and sometimes it has nearly ruined my makeup because I'm trying so hard to blend it out that you end up over blushing, and trying to fix that can be horrendous. So it's a toss-up because I really love the color range. When these do work, they are addictingly blurring. Like, you just want your skin to look like that all the time. but I can't guarantee the outcome of these. And I've tried playing around with them so much on top of different formulas to really see. And the best way that I can see using these to go in with a very light hand after you have already set your blush in place with your translucent powder. They need a really, for me, they don't work well going over wet formulation whatsoever, but over an already set down cheek, these are beautiful. An absolute 10 out of 10 has to go to the newly launched Rare Beauty Matte Bouncy Blushes. These are such a gorgeous, unique formulation. This is the color Happy, and I have this all over my cheek today on this side underneath the Say blushes. This is just gorgeous. It has a beautiful bouncy texture, and when you go to set it on your cheeks, it just dries down almost and sets itself. This is a Korean formula. I also love the packaging is nice, compact, sleek, and also shows you which color it is from the outside. I love something like that so that I can see it when I'm grabbing for it. I think they are my favorite blush formulation out of the ones I have talked about so far, because if you truly want a blurring blush, Rare Beauty is going to give it to you. They are not as pigmented, I would say, as her soft pinch blushes, but they are definitely very buildable. You can get these incredibly pigmented if you need to. They go beautifully over powder as well as under powder. So I think they would be a great blush for touching up your cheeks as well. I can't say enough good things about them. I want more colors. They're stunning. Selena, you did a fantastic job. What can I say? What did we expect? Now, these would get my favorite highest ranking in this category were it not for my actual favorite blush, I think, to ever launch on the market ever. These are currently my absolute top favorite blushes. These are the YSL Make Me Blush blush powders. Everything from the beautiful luxe packaging that, again, shows the color and how gorgeous it is, to the actual formula. You even get a mirror inside of this compact, and the color range is stunning. They have some of the more unique colors, like this one here is shade 44, and it is just the most dusty rose, some lavender, some pink, some almost coral shift to it. It is just my most favorite beautiful color that I think will flatter every single skin tone. I'm wearing on this cheek today. It is the most highlightery, blush toppery, blurring effect blush I have ever used. Somehow they are making these formulas where they can just reflect light and blur at the same time. These don't emphasize my texture whatsoever. In fact, they take it away. These are worth every single penny, in my opinion. They've just enhanced every single look of mine that I can think of, and I love them so much. Limited edition launch that I am obsessed with because I'm obsessed with cherries. This is their Hot Cheeks Velour Blush Lighter in the color Cherry Pied, and it has a cute, adorable embossed cherries on it. They have a darker color as well. If you are very, very fair, these are very, very pigmented. This is probably not the formula for you, but oh my goodness gracious. So they're a highlighter formulation that is infused with a blush color. So the way I will use them is I will take a very, very, what is the opposite of dense? Sparsely packed? That just sounds wrong. But I will take a brush like this that's very lightweight and very, I don't know what the word is, it escapes me, but it basically goes all over my cheek. And instead of putting that in incredibly like a highlighter, I definitely will use it as a blush or a blush topper very lightly. And even still, it probably looks too much on me. So for deeper skin tones, this is going to be beautiful. You can use this color in particular if you are very light skinned, but just be prepared to look very blushed. Beautiful, but there's going to be a lot of color in your cheeks. But this truly is one of the most silky powder formulas on the market, period. Ask anybody who has felt these in person, they feel unreal. They feel like touching silk, and the color is just so beautiful and so stunning. I think this is a fantastic launch, and you darker skinned girls are just going to go bananas, and you're going to look so pretty. Lastly, I finally tried the Dibs dual-ended blush and bronzer sticks. These are fantastic. They really are just like your skin, but a little more flushed. And these are not going to be the most pigmented things ever. You can definitely build them up. But these, I will say, if you a girl on a date and you're going to the beach and you want to just touch up your skin a little bit, like with your fingers, this is like your product to go to throw in your purse. You don't need a bunch of makeup to make these look very natural. They look so great on their own. They really blend out into the most natural finishes, and that's what I really loved about them. They are definitely like perfect for your skin tints, and you can't pick out the colors, but they do have like a more matte version and a shimmery version of their sticks as well. And I've loved them, and I've loved, shout out to their brush that's like a super viral brush. This is great. This is so perfect for packing on powder bronzer here. This one is amazing for blending out your creams as well. So I've been enjoying using them so much, and I think I will get so much use out of them in the summer. Like an 8 out of 10 for me, for sure. Moving on to eyes, I've got a couple of things to share with you. A while ago, I picked up the e.l.f. Keep It Ethereal eye palette. This, I think, is my favorite eye pickup that I have made in a long time. I have not purchased an eyeshadow palette in a long time, but I missed out on the limited edition Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette. And this was sort of, I think, supposed to be inspired by it. And frankly, I could not be happier. This I cannot stop reaching for. I love these colors in particular. The shimmers are one of my favorite shimmer formulas ever, not just at the drugstore. I have this underneath what I'm wearing today. This did my eye look today. It's so beautiful. The mattes are very hard pressed, so they're great for using it as eyeliner. This is a 20 out of 10 for me across the board. This is incredible and worth every penny if you are into these shades at all, which I think will look beautiful on everyone. Go check this out. Next, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautifying Eye Trends palette. This is her very neutral color. I know everybody was just like, oh my gosh, the packaging is so gross. It's so flimsy. It's so whatever. Again, I love something I can see what colors I'm working with. I actually really like this packaging. I think it's clean and sleek. And I love Charlotte Tilbury. I'm a huge fan, but I have really, really not liked her eyeshadows until this. The shimmers in here are everything. First of all, the mattes blend out so beautifully, so stunning. But the shimmers in here are really where it's at. They are so glimmery. They look so beautiful blended all over the lid. I got so many questions asking me what was on my eyes when I wear this palette. I love that it's way more neutral. It's not as warm of a palette. It is beautiful and definitely worth it. And that firmly gets a 10 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry, I know it's expensive, but I really, really have just gotten so much use out of it already. And it is something that I want to use every single day and travel with. And I love it. Definitely something to be revisited. I just picked up a new color of the Colourpop Super Shock shadows. These are a cult classic for a reason. They really are some of the best eyeshadow drugstore glitters in a dry formula that you can get for about, I think they're $7 now. They were $5 when they first came out, but they really are just the most beautiful formula. I mean, they're like almost wet and plushy to the touch. They're almost like a gel, and let's get you in here nice and close. They're such a gorgeous, gorgeous finish. This color is the color Ripple, and they could not be more glimmery. They're like satin finish. And this one is the color Ritz, and this one is going to give you a much more chunky, wet looking kind of look. This one is famously like a dupe for Space Cowboy from Urban Decay. I definitely like it better than Space Cowboy. Sorry to say, but also not so sorry. I mean, it's like a third of the price. So there's that. What I will say is these are two eye formulas that, in my opinion, cannot be duped. This is the Kulfi Zari Eyes eyeshadow in Sona Sona. This is what I have all over my lids today. This is such a wet formulation that does not crease. You just blend it out with your finger. The more you blend with your finger, the more it's going to be chunky, glittery, which is something I really like. I like a scattered glitter. And this is so beautiful. It really does not come off. Once it is on there, and this is definitely a 20 out of 10 for me. This is beautiful. Just like the Patrick Ta for eyes, and I got the shade Do You Know Who I Am. This in particular is the most beautiful gold shimmers. Again, compliments for me all the live long day. It is such a beautiful, sophisticated woman kind of glitter. I think gold looks beautiful on every single person. So if you're going to pick up a single and when I say single, like a single compact eyeshadow that is just your go-to glitter, then I think it is worth investing in one that is just going to get you compliments every single time you wear it. So I love those. My favorite purchase I have made in the eyeshadow category is the Armani Eye Tint. This is in the color 22 Cashew. And simply put, this is basically just the easiest one and done eyeshadow step you will ever find in your entire life. This is a perfect like neutral brown with a little bit of warmth camel color. If you want to put some more gray tones with this, it will lean cool. If you want to make it more warm, it will also lend itself to that. That's why I think this color is so brilliant. Basically, any of them overall are the easiest non-patchy blendable things ever. If you are a newbie to eyeshadow and you struggle with everything looking patchy on your eyes, try one of these and it will just like, it will do the work for you. This is 100 out of 10 for me. This is my favorite eyeshadow pickup that I have purchased, and I'm a glitter person. This is a matte. This is how much this impressed me. I have got 3 brand new mascara launches to talk to you about. So the first one is my first time trying the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. You can see what people like it. It gives you a lot of length. I'm looking for a little bit more thickness in my mascara and a little more volumizing power. But this one, I will say, very nice length, very nice separation, will not budge. This does not flake on you. It is like almost like a tubing mascara. So this is like a 7 or 8 out of 10 for me. It's not something that I reach for all the time because it just makes my lashes feel a little sparse. But if you are somebody that does not like thick, chunky, volumizing mascara and you struggle with flaking, I can see why everybody likes this. Next, I'm a huge fan of tubing mascaras, and this one is the Ribbon Wrapped Lash from Too Faced. This one is one of my favorite tubing mascaras because it is actually one of the thinnest, lightweight feeling. When you get a tubing mascara, your lashes can tend to feel really heavy. And even though you've got all this beautiful volume and beautiful length, they will tend to weigh down. This one is one of the lightest weight formulas I've ever found in a tubing mascara, which is why I like it so much. It doesn't give you as much volume, maybe that kind of goes hand in hand, but overall, it's a 8 out of 10 mascara for me. It's very nice. If you really like the idea of a tubing mascara, but you find all of them very heavy, then I think you would really like this. Lastly, my favorite of the bunch is the one I'm wearing today. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Mascara. And this one does everything that I personally like in my mascaras. It's a little bit of a drier formula. It's got a very big, long wand, and it gives me length and volume. And I love how separated it keeps my lashes as well. This one doesn't flake on me. I wouldn't say that this one flakes. I will say it is more prone to maybe flaking because I have a toddler and he runs around all over my face a little more than the other two. But that kind of comes with a drier formula, to be honest. And definitely not something that it's not getting in my eyes. It's not anything that I would say is enough to write home about. It's a great formula, and I really have been enjoying using it. I can't put it down. Whew, we getting somewhere, huh? Some of the most fun things that have come out at the drugstore are the Lumi Lip Glass from L'Oreal Paris. And this is their Balm Highlighter Sticks. I've got these on my cheeks today. They are gorgeous. They give your skin just the perfect amount of, this is skin, this is not makeup. And I think it would look so beautiful on a just bare face to just give your skin just some life. And that's the only time I would suggest going straight in with the stick with these. If you want to use these normally, I will take these on a finger on a very dense little brush and just pat, pat, pat. They really are not meant to go over a very thick foundation with the stick form. So if you use them like that, you are going to absolutely love them. I know House Labs came out with a very beautiful version that I have tried. And for the price, I like these better. These are a 10 out of 10. Their color shades and color range is beautiful. You got a color for everybody. And I think everybody would really, really like this. So these are definitely some of my top picks for you to go check out. Okay, I am a setting spray fanatic, so I have a lot to try. The first one I tried from the drugstore, this is the NYX The Face Glue setting spray. I love everything about this. I think it's so cute. I really liked everything I tried in this line. I also really love the primer. That was one thing I forgot to include in this video. I love the primer. It's so hydrating, perfect for dry skin girls. This is a really great pickup from the drugstore if you're wanting some longevity. I do think it does keep my makeup on longer. It gets like a 7 out of 10 for me because the mister is really important to me on my setting spray. And this one has just sort of like your basic, like it has a very nice mister, but I can definitely feel sort of a line of setting spray as I spray my face rather than just an overall beautiful mist sometimes. But you can't go wrong with the price. It's really, really great. And I've really enjoyed using it. I reach for it way more often than I thought I would. One that has a perfect mister for me is the LA Girl Pro Perfect Oil Control Setting Spray. This is great. I use this in abundance. This just has a beautiful, like, aerosol, gorgeous setting mist. And I love using this. I will usually use this in Tana with a glowy setting spray because I want my makeup to be glowy. But for the staying power, I definitely run to this a lot. You can't beat it. I think it's like $9. This gets a 9 out of 10 for me. You really can't beat it. I love using it in tandem with this one from LA Girl. This is the LA Girl Shimmer Spray. It's a finishing spray for face and body. So this will not make your makeup last longer, but it will give you such a beautiful finish to your skin. It's got a bunch of gold particles at the bottom. So what you do is you shake it up. There's a little ball in here as well. And it just gives you the most beautiful luster finish. And I love using this for your skin as well. If you spray it here, it looks amazingly gorgeous. It is so beautiful. I definitely had mentioned I thought it was like a dupe for the viral Kopari setting spray, except that it's just missing your SPF. But again, for like $8 or $9, you really can't beat it. There is just absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I have enjoyed using it so much. I think it's going to get so much use from me in the summertime. Next, two super viral setting sprays from Sephora that I picked up. This is the Kosas Cloud Set Airy Setting and Smoothing Mist. I love this. Again, this mister on this with these nozzles, they're just so fine. They are so beautiful. And I have really seen that this keeps my makeup on a long time. So I reach for this so much. I think it is beautiful. It gives a nice blurred look to the skin. It's simple in a setting spray. I would really love it to just not leave goops of water all over my face and prolong the longevity of my makeup, which I think this does really well. So this gets a 9 out of 10 out of my book. Great. Lastly, this is the very viral Huda Beauty Easy Bake setting spray. Now, she says this is infused with like rice starch, something that's supposed to make your makeup blur. It's got a ball in here as well for you to shake up so that all of that silt at the bottom can be really mixed up. Now, the nozzle on here is my one complaint about this. It's very hard to press. And did you see how it loves to just spurt out? First of all, you can lock this, but if you unlock it and then you spray it, it's very difficult to get an even amount of this all over my face. So what I will usually do is I will spray this as much as I can, and then I will take a sponge and pat it into my face because it does leave those water droplets on my face. Now, what is impressive about it is those water droplets don't seem to ruin my makeup, but it's for a higher end setting spray. It's just not my favorite that it does that. So some days I have better days with it than others. Some days I don't have any problems with it, and sometimes I do. And so the kind of unpredictability makes me sort of a little cautious to use it, but it does prolong your makeup. So if the splotches didn't ruin your face, you will have a beautiful long wear setting spray, and it is great for that. My only complaint is like the packaging or the mister on it, but the product itself is really great. So 7 out of 10 for sure. Okay, we have come to the biggest category of them all, and that is lips. I got a lot of lip products. Listen, I love them. I love lip products so much that, yes, I had a lot of those, but I will tell you, I entered a giveaway, which was the most exciting thing to happen to me, like, ever, besides having a kid, but like that's beside the point. Like in the makeup world right now, I entered a giveaway and I was able to get most of what I'm about to show you for free. So I wasn't gifted them by any brand, but I also didn't pay for a bunch of them. So that's why they're just sort of an amalgamation of so many things all over the place. So bear with me here. We're going to dive right in. And if you were curious about any of these, well, here you go. The first ones I have for you are the Hard Candy and collaboration with Girl Scouts Sweet Treat Lip Oils. This is their Thin Mints flavor, and then this is their Girl Scouts S'mores flavor. Now, the thing about these is they're very wet looking. They look beautiful. They smell great. Their formula is very thin. So when you go to put it on your lips, I think it's really nice if you have no other color on your lips. If you have a photo shoot coming up, it looks beautiful over a color, but this gets like a 5 out of 10 for me because I think the packaging is cute. I think it smells really great, but immediately it will make your lips bleed your color because it's so thin. The color will seep into the applicator almost immediately and it won't look clear anymore. So it's just not very practical. It's not very wearable for a long time unless you just want really juicy plain lips. I think these will be great as a topper over, like if you've got a lip stain lying around, then you might really enjoy these. But other than that, they just make every color I've ever tried with them just bleed into the fine lines of your lips. They're great for a second, but then after that, maybe not so much. Now, something that is very similar that doesn't actually bleed, this is the Nooni Apple Clear Lip Oil, and I believe this is an Asian brand. It's just really, really nice. This is a really beautiful, wet, hydrating formulation. It just is going to give some hydration to the lips. It's not anything that's incredibly unique or standoutish. They're kind of small, but they do feel very hydrating. They are almost like a lip oil in the most literal sense. Like they feel very oily. Water has a hard time taking them off. They do have like some grip to them. They are very slick. If you like something like that and you want to just keep one in your pocket or keep one in your purse, I think they're nice, but nothing to write home about really. Something that I think is totally worth every penny and from the drugstore, but is totally like better than a lot of high-end lipsticks I've tried. This is the new Revlon Super Lustrous Shine lipsticks, and I have mine in the colors Rose and Girly Swirly. They're like the beautiful YSL Volupte shines. They are so gorgeous and so hydrating on the lips. They have like the right amount of color, the right amount of pigment. The color range is beautiful. I have enjoyed them so much. They just are a treat for your lips. The packaging is so beautiful and luxe. I love the white and the gold together. And I think Revlon knocked it out of the park. 10 out of 10 for sure. One of my favorite lip glosses on the market is the Lawless Forget the Filler gloss. And basically, I just don't think you can go wrong with any of these. They are so beautiful. I think they do what they say. It's like every time I wear them, I just feel like, did I just get filler? I'll show you what I mean. I don't have filler on my lips, so anything that kind of helps smooth out all my natural lines. Oh, this is from their recent strawberry collection. So they do have a scent to them. They smell great, but it just takes away all of so many of my fine lines and just gives them just a beautiful wash. They just feel so hydrating and yet they're not sticky, but they are thick. And that's like really great because you do have like this coating over the lines on your lips. They come in amazing shade ranges. They smell amazing. They are beautiful. I don't think you will regret these one bit. These are definitely a 10 out of 10 product for me. Next, I have these Go by Glimmer Whipped Lip and Cheek Tints. These feel very interesting. They literally are like a beautiful whipped formula, and they are very blurring. Now, I will say, unless you want something very light on your cheeks, they are not that pigmented. So I use them more as a base for my lips. And as you can see, they blur out to almost nothing. They give just sort of like a whisper of color, which is not my jam, but it's probably somebody's jam. And I think they feel really nice. They feel like whipped butter. If you really like anything that caters more towards like Asian blurred looking skin, these are going to be really gorgeous. I enjoy using them for a little hint of color on my lips. Now, the CoverGirl Forever Outlast Liquid Lips, these are really gorgeous. They're very wet and they do dry down and give you a little bit of staying power, but they are very, very wet formula. They're almost like a gloss. They remind me a little bit of the NYX Lip Ivies in the sensation that they give you, and they do leave a little bit of a stain behind. I would say that the shade range is just not probably for everybody. They're so intense that even their more neutral colors are a little more intense than probably most people would like. But if you're sort of into that super vinyl glossy look, I think they're a really good formula and they will leave behind a little bit of color for you. A little bit of what I have underneath my lips today. This is the Roman Juicy Lasting Tint. Now, everything I've tried from Revlon in terms of lip products are so nice. These feel like water on your skin. They look like a gloss for a little bit and then they will dry down and just give you a nice stain to your lips. Their colors are beautiful. They have such a nice range of colors that are all sort of within this, like, could be your natural lip color family. And they're really affordable. They're a 9 out of 10 for me. I love them. These from Hard Candy really surprised me with how much I absolutely adore these. These are the Lip Shine lipsticks, and I have the color Maraschino and Taffy. And these are incredible. I love them. They are truly the shiniest, most blendable emollient cream lipsticks I have ever used. I kind of love this like chunky, like pencil packaging, but they really are like a really creamy blendable lipstick. I have this one all over the outer parts of my lips today. They are so beautiful. I will say for my lifestyle, these get like a 6 out of 10 because they just will just whoop right off. They're so pigmented and they are so transferable, but that means they go on so creamy. So if you don't have a toddler running all over your face and you want something really hydrating and nice on your lips, I think you would love these and you can't beat the price. Now, let's talk butter balms. I'll try to go through these very quickly. So the first one, the one that started it all in their famous limited edition scent, this is the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm, and I have mine in the shade Birthday Cake. This is just a very beautiful, clear, hydrating, nourishing lip treatment. This color is very sheer. It smells delicious. I love their line. It's addicting. I use them all the time, and everyone else has tried to come out with something similar. These from the drugstore are neck and neck for me. These is the MCO Beauty Peptide Lip Treatment in Buttercream, and this is the Colourpop Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Balm. This is in the color Strawberry Milk. Oh my gosh, it smells like a dream. Almost give the exact same finish. They all have the same sort of tube. They come in the same sort of jelly lip applicator. This pink shade is so gorgeous. They all have a really delicious scent to them. None of them actually taste like anything, but as you can see, these give the same sort of wet shine effect. And I wouldn't say one is more nourishing than the other. It really is just personal preference. I do have to say, for some reason, I reach for the Colourpop ones more. I love them so much. I love their pigment. I love how they make me glossy and shine. I love the way they smell. So out of the two, I'm reaching for these more, but I think basically these are up to you. But topping all of those, the one I reach for the most right now is the Laneige Glaze Craze Lip Tinted Serum, and I have got mine in the shade Cinnamon Sugar. These made quite a splash with their donut applicator, but I'm telling you, when you actually go to put this on your lips, first of all, I'm a pigment kind of girl because I don't naturally have a lot of pigment to my lips. That's just a me thing. So I like things with a lot of pigment. Unlike a lot of other lip butter balms that are coming out right now, and a lot of lip glosses and lip products in general, there's just no pigment going on. Nobody really wants any bold lips right now. But these have pigment, and I'm so thankful for it. So this is the color Cinnamon Sugar, and all of their colors are so beautiful. Again, it smells really great. And I love the pillowy, cushiony fabric of the little donut applicator. Now, it is a little bit difficult to apply if you have really bowed lips like I do and get a defined bow, but it feels really nice and hydrating on the lips. That one is definitely a winner for me personally, and it's thicker than a lot of them, so it just feels so lovely to have as a treatment on your lips. I would love to go and pick up more shades. That is absolutely one of the standouts for me. Another one I tried that I could not be more obsessed with, these are the Makeup Forever Super Boost Lip Glosses. They have an incredible shade range. It's very wide, which I appreciate. And these have a really nice like triangle doe foot applicator, and they are just juicy. Do you see what I mean? Are you kidding me? I think that answers that right there, frankly. They don't even have any plump effect to them. They just make your lips look plumper. Like, they're the most beautiful, comfortable, shiny, wet. Like, this is just the look that I am personally going for. I just want my lips to look like they are dripping and like in a wet commercial for honey. Like, I just love this look, and especially, like I said, as somebody without any lip filler, anything that can just plump up my lips to make them juicier without having that tingling sensation is a absolute bonus. I love these so much. They're so comfortable. They're so thick without being goopy. They don't catch or anything like that. Definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. Okay, I think that is everything. If you have made it to the end, you are such a real one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this long. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below if you've tried any of these and what your thoughts are. I would love to get a discussion going. I hope you found this video helpful. I always do. I love when I can find somebody's rapid fire, quick and easy answers to things that I just want the quick information for. So hopefully I didn't ramble on for too long about everything. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in my cozy corner of the internet, where this amazing, gorgeous community, we find ways to live life more beautifully together. Don't forget, you are more beautiful than you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.